Hey, this is Allie Edwards, and in today's video, I'm actually participating in a collaboration with Scrapbook.com. They are running a fun group event here called Parade for Pops using their Pops of Color paints. I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but they're super fun. I'll talk more about those in a minute here. And creating projects, whether they're cards or layouts for Father's Day. So what I'm going to be doing here is I try to think through what would be something, I want to do something memory keeping related, so not a card for me, that's just not what I do here. But I wanted to play with circles, so circles is something that I've loved for a long time, and I love the idea of using the pops of color, using the paint and the pops of color to create some circle backgrounds like this, and I'm going to show you how I did this in a couple minutes here, that I can then write on top. And so the story that I want to tell is I want to do a project that is like the reasons why we love the dads around here. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do Aaron, who's my husband, or if I want to do Chris, who's Simon and Anna's dad, or if I want to do my dad, or if I want to do a combination. I'm not sure yet. So that's sort of one of the things I'm going to think about as I am doing the crafty part. For me, as a memory keeper, I love having words and photos together in most of my projects. But I think for this project, what I'm going to do is have this opportunity to do the crafting part and play with the paint and do some things that feel really creative, and then pair that with meaningful words. So why do we love these different dads, or why do I love these different dads in my life? It could be that kind of a story, or it could be something that we use to give to Aaron on Father's Day, or the kids could give to Chris on Father's Day, something like that. That's kind of the direction that I am initially heading. So my first step in this process is to create these painted circles that will then live on a scrapbook page, and it could be a 12 by 12 page, it could be a 6 by 8 page. I will probably do a double page 6 by 8 spread. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I'm going to start out by doing the painting part first. So this is something that is going to end up being wet paint, so it'll need a little bit of time to dry. So maybe a couple step process in terms of if you start on one day, maybe you'd finish on another day, just kind of something to think about. So what you're going to need for this project is you would need some paint or pops of color. I'm going to show you how I'm using these. I have these in these cute little storage containers that Scrapbook.com has on their site. I've got two different sets. These are actually new colors that were released, I think maybe a month or so ago. It could have been a little bit earlier or later than that too. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the blues, kind of the blues and greens is what I was thinking. Maybe just something like that. Maybe we'll add in a green there. Maybe we'll add in this green too. This one might be too dark. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see how this works. So let's start. Well, there's like this light one too. We'll play with those. So the deal with these paints are when you open them up, they have a stopper that is inside. This is the one that I've already used, so you won't see the stopper on the inside. But then you're able to take the paint and you can make fun little dots. They can be much smaller than that, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use them in a way that could create some sort of a background. So I'm going to show you how I did that next. All right, so let me show you one of these that hasn't been opened yet and what you need to do. You can see that there's a little bit of red on the inside. You just pop off the top here, actually screw it off. And then you remove this little red piece, and that's like the stopper that is in the paints when you get them in the mail there. So that's all ready to go now. All right, so what I did for this one originally is the first thing that I did, and let's get this wet paint off of here, is I used a circle punch, and I believe this is a 3-inch punch. Let's measure this. These are ones I've had forever and ever. 3.5 inch, and the 3.5 inch is going to become my template. So here's one that I already did. This is great for using up some of your scrap paper too. So we'll do it again here so you guys can see what I'm. So punch that out, and now I have a template. Just making sure, yep, that's the same size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on here. This is going to be, I'm going to end up cutting out of this paper. And actually, I think that I want to do it in a little bit of a different spot, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the dots in here, and then I'm going to, well, let's do it. We'll try it with this one, but I might need to do it again. So for this, I'm just going to put like 3 dots on here, and then I'm going to grab this scraper. This is from Scrapbook.com, but you could use a credit card or something else. And I'm essentially going to set this on top, and I'm going to twist it around in a circle to create that fun kind of circle shape on there. And you might need to do it more than once. It doesn't really matter if you go in a perfect circle, but I want it contained within that space. And so maybe you want a really light wash like that. You might want a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more just to see. But I like how it's a super organic look. This would be really fun in an art journal too. And you can just kind of even smash some down on there like that. Okay, so then I end up by having this circle background, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a 4-inch punch after it dries, and then I'm going to punch it out. So that's what this ended up being. So I'm working with a 3.5-inch punch and then a 4-inch punch. I think I got the 4-inch punch off of Amazon. If they have it on scrapbook.com, I'll link it for you guys there as well. But my goal is to have a number of these circles that then I can put my story on top of. So let's just go ahead and keep going. We'll do a couple different colors here. I like the lighter look, and I think that it's nice to see that there are different ways that you could use something like this, right? You can use it where it's really a really bright, strong, dark color, or you can make it a little washed out just by using less paint. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this off just with that fresh paint. This is the paint from before, just so that I have a nice base to start with. Let's try this green one this time and see what this looks like. Again, we got to pull that top off there. Get to see my full, actually that one didn't have a red one in it, or that's just the green paint. See if I can not get it all over myself. All right, so I'm gonna go back in. Let's do a few little dots here. And then we're just gonna take this and we're gonna twist it again, and it can go around. You can pick it up. It doesn't have to be like one big twist. Let's see. And you can see that I want to get the paint on there, so that's why I'm pushing down a little bit harder. But the organic look of it is part of what I'm going for too. And I'm obviously using the circle as a template so that it stays inside that circle shape. So you could do this directly on here, like if you wanted to work off the background. Again, I'm going to be punching these out, but that is an option. You can also use scratch pieces of paper. This would be a great opportunity to do that also. I want to make sure I leave a little bit of room on the side. So let's try this again. What if I let's do it twice. I kind of want to see like if it's, basically I'm just trying to get some paint in there in the circle. And as you can see, I'm not trying to make it doesn't have to fit in the entire circle. That's why I'm using this as a template. But I love the look where you can see that it looks like it's kind of flowing around in a little bit of a circle there. Give it a little more paint. Okay, so there's another one. So one of the things to know about these is this is something that you can actually put onto your project to make like little acrylic dots. Like you could leave it like that. It would dry straight out, like it would dry as a dot. So you can create your own with that, which is something that's super fun. I think maybe more for card makers, but if you like doing mixed media, like this is something that you can do to add directly onto your projects. Like right there, that looks really cute, but I'm still doing my swish around here. And I'm going to want more paint than this with this one. There we go. The more you lay it down, the more you're going to get a little bit of a different look there too. And that one I like because that one even has more of the outline of the circle, but this is not, there's not a right or a wrong way with this, as with many things. Okay, let's do the two other colors, and that'll give me 6 total, so I can work with 6 circles, I believe, on my project. So I'm gonna let those two dry. I'm gonna come over here and do this on these ones with 2 other blues. Ooh, that was cool. Watch your fingers too. But that's okay because I'm going for a little bit of a messy mess on this one and being happy with that. So as I'm working on this, I'm thinking a little bit about what is the direction that I want to head. I think that I'm going to do something that is kind of honoring the different dads in my life, like I said. So my dad, Chris, who is my kid's dad, and then Aaron, who is my husband, who is also a father, a stepdad, a regular dad, whatever you want to call it. So I'm thinking about how I can do that on top of these. So I think it's probably going to be, I think I'm going to stamp "Love You, Dad" on each one and then write on top of there. And since I have 6, I might be able to like do 2 for each one of them. We'll see as we go along here, but that's kind of the sort of thing that I'm thinking about as I'm making these and as I'm getting ready to think about what kind of story do I want to tell. So this one has glitter in it, so we're going to see how that turns out. Should be fun. Might just be, okay, so here's a good example. So this one's going to need more color because it's just glitter. And I don't know if we can write on top of the glitter. So I'm going to try to kind of get some of that to the outside. I might do an extra, let's see, what do we got? There's one other, like a blue. That one looks a little bit purple. So maybe I'll come back in. Let's do another little bit of green. Or we could mix too. Let's do a mix one. We'll do a couple things of green and maybe a couple things of this lighter blue. Let's see what this looks like when you mix them together. Yeah, I think that for this particular one, the glitter, like maybe it would be something that you would put on after you write on there. I don't know. But this is going to look okay. Yeah. Actually, I don't want I want the twist in there. All right. So I'm going to let those dry and then I will pop back on here and punch them out and get them on a background. Okay, coming back in here, I'm going to try punching these guys out. I think that I left enough space, but let's see. I'm going to come in around here like this. We'll see. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the 4-inch circle punch. And for this one, I'm kind of just going to set it on the table. See, get it in like that. I just have it upside down. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I just want these 4-inch circles. So like that one needs a little bit trimmed off the edge. There's lots of things that you could do on top of here too. You could print out on top of a transparency, like if you didn't want to hand write. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. One of the things I might do is I might do a circle, like a circle outline that says "Love You, Dad." Like I could do that in text that I could print out on vellum, or on vellum, not vellum. Transparency is probably what I would do for that. So again, you can make these a lot darker if you want them to be darker, but I'm keeping in mind that I want to have words on top of them, which is why I'm doing it this way. And this is obviously something that you could do just with regular acrylic paint, but it's pretty fun to do with the pops of color there. I think that was a fun way to mix things up a little bit. So I'm going to get out some additional paper and let's figure out what the layout's going to be here. So I think that I'm going to do a 12 by 12 project. I haven't done a 12 by 12 project in a while, but I think for this one, I think that would be a fun way to approach this. I'm still thinking. This is a black and white sheet from our black and white scrapbook kit. I'm going to be doing some projects working with that kit in the upcoming weeks here. I'm considering adding one more so that I can have one that is my title in the middle there, and then the other ones can be the supporting stories. Oh, actually I had one more, so let's just do that because that's another blue one that'll work there. And maybe this one is the title. All right, so when I am testing out something like this is something that I made on the computer and it says "Thankful for You, Dad." And my idea is that I will probably be printing this out on a printable transparency and then being able to layer it on top and then have, like, maybe I'll stamp the name and then handwrite it on there. It's kind of what I'm thinking about, but I can see key here, just making sure that the size is correct. So this ended up being like a 3.5-inch circle, text circle there, and I put a little heart in between each one. So I'm gonna go ahead and print this out on transparency, the number that I need, which ended up being 7, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I also wanted to show you guys, I think that I might do a 2-page 6x8 outside the page protector, which is more in alignment with what I have been doing. So let's just cut up a couple of these sheets. Again, this one was from our black and white scrapbook kit. These two are from Heidi Swap, a recent release, but I want the black and white polka dot version. So I'm just gonna trim these down to 7 inches wide by 8.25 tall. Let's do 8.25. By 7. I've been doing a lot of things outside of the page protector and really enjoying that size. And so that's what this ends up being here. Okay, so let's see circle-wise how many circles we can fit on a 2-page spread like this. I will also, let's punch the holes first, because even if I don't end up using this for this particular project, I would use it as a background for another project in the future. I use a 6-hole punch from Amazon. Punch the holes there. And then let's see how many of these we can fit on here. I'm kind of wondering, since there might be that they're a little bit too big within that size, but we can always layer them. I might need to do another one on here too. I'm wondering, let's see what happens if they overlap some, which could be kind of fun anyway, right? Let's just kind of see. Looks like I need to do one more. The other thing that I did do is I did print these out on transparency. Just kind of want you to be able to see both ways, both options there. Print these out on transparency that I will cut out and then can layer on top. So the way that I've been cutting these, punch like this doesn't always work. We can try it. Let's try it and see if it works this time. Sometimes they work really good on here and other times they don't, just kind of depending on how sharp they are at any particular point in time. Let's see what this one, let's see if it works. And if not, I'll just use a circle template to cut it out. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. So it cuts part of it and then it's just not enough, but I think I can still save this one by using a circle as the background. Okay, so in this case I can just grab some scissors and cut it out. I'm gonna go like this first because that just makes it easier. Kind of want to see what they look like if they overlap too. If these guys are overlapping, then if I lay that on top of there. I'll put this Thank You for Dad's Circle file as a download on my blog post. So you can click over, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click over to my blog and you can download these circles that you could print on cardstock. You could print them on transparency like I'm doing here. You could print them on vellum. Lots of different things that you can print on. I also have a couple videos here on YouTube or on the blog about printing on transparencies and printing on vellum, and I will link that for you guys below that you can check that out too if you want to see some tips on the actual printing. Yeah, so I think this will be fun, and I like actually how those things will overlap. My plan here is that, so I need to do one more painted guy there, and then I think I'm going to stamp like their name on each one, you know, so Chris and my dad, which I will probably put dad. I don't know, I gotta think that part through. But I'm gonna go ahead and keep cutting these out and then we'll see how this progresses. All right, so after I got all those transparent pieces cut out, I used the template circle that I had punched out to use as my template to cut those out. I'm gonna use that as the last one because I needed one more with color. And so I did a mixture of like the blue and the green together. The first time I did it there, it seemed really watery more than before. And it could have been when I first squirted out the paint, maybe there was a little bit of water, I'm not sure. But I just added more. And I'm glad that I brought that really bright, light green back into it too. I think that's gonna look really good overall, especially from one page to the next. All right, so if you are new to my channel or my blog, one of the things that I do is I change my mind a lot as I'm working and as I'm kind of thinking through the process of this. And as I was doing that, after I had printed out and made another circle here and printed out my larger circles, I was looking in my stash to try to see what other things could I have that I could use on these. So one of the things that I have are these new heart stickers, layered heart stickers from Vicky Boutin, and they have like a little bit of I think it's a vellum on top of cardstock, and then they're stitched. And what I'm thinking about doing, I'm just going to cut one of these out so that I am not directly using it just yet. But I'll show you guys what I'm thinking. And the colors actually go really well with this. Like I can use these other ones here. I'm thinking that I can lay this on the top. And then I also went and I printed out each of their names. So we've got Chris and Aaron and Al. And let's just cut one of these up. So this could then go across the top there. Let me show you what I'm thinking. I could leave a white border if I wanted. Maybe let's try that first and see what that looks like. Just give it a little extra something. So I sized these right here these are 2 inches wide. And I know that they're a little bit big on the smaller hearts, but it's kind of the size that I wanted for the bigger hearts. So I can always trim this down. If I do trim it down, then I wouldn't want to have the white border on there. But I'm kind of thinking of something like this. So I actually might keep that. So let's do another one of these. I'll probably use these 2 right here. You could also make circles like this too. You know, if purchasing the product is not really on your list of things right now, you could totally make these hearts like this and stitch them as well. So that's always an option. I am going to go ahead and keep giving these a white border, at least for the initial part, and let's see how that goes. So I'm just going to pair a heart with each one of these circles. One of them is going to end up being a title circle. So there's like that. So, see, it's super cute. And then I can write a little bit underneath, right? So I'm having fun. I'm crafting. I'm doing some creative stuff, but I am also thinking about the story and using this as an opportunity to give thanks to the dads that are in my life. If I just have 6 of those, let's see. I'm thinking if I have 6 of those and then I maybe do something on the other one. I want to have one that's a title, one circle that's going to be a title, and one that will be a, like, what is this story kind of thing. Just say a little bit about that. So that could be a Chris. Just continuing to cut these out. Okay, so this one's still kind of drying, but I'm thinking I'll move this guy over here. This will be on the outside. I'll probably use this one as my title. So I'll move this one over here and this one here. And then I can put something else on that one, I think is what I'm going to do. This one will be an Aaron one. So I have this other fun alphabet here, which was another one that I picked up from Scrapbook.com recently. And I'm thinking that maybe this would be really fun as my title on top of one of these that could say like, love you dads. I think that would fit on there. Let's test it out. These are really nice. I haven't gotten these before, and they're a pretty thin, puffy, but not, still a good, real nice weight. I think I'm probably just going to go with love you. I was kind of thinking of like love you dads, but maybe I could do something like that. I know love you is going to fit on here. So let's just go with that at least first. This is my title circle. Just something quick to point out here. You can see that I'm starting with the O first, and then I'm going to put the Y and the U on either side of it. I like to start with the middle letter or one of the bigger letters when possible. I'm actually going to end up taking that bottom O off and putting one of the layered heart stickers there instead. But at this point in the process, this is how I started it. I love these stickers. They were really, really fun to use on this project. Okay, so I might put like a little subheading on there, but that can go, oh yeah, that looks fun. Okay, so I think I'll do like a little sub, like I said, just a subhead. This is still me figuring out where everything's gonna go, right? But that looks fun. Or maybe I'll find a word phrase sticker or something that could go underneath there. All right, so I just went ahead and printed one more of these out that has the names on them. I'm not gonna use all the names, but I just had it on my desktop. And so I'm cutting a subhead here that can go on right here. I'm thinking it'll go below, but maybe it'll go on top. I'm not sure yet. Let's see what happens. Another thing that I could have done, this is another idea. Let's see. I didn't really have, the other hearts are kind of not the same perfect color, but like see, that looks kind of fun too. Maybe I'll do that. Let's take one of those O's off there and put a heart on there instead. That just feels fun. Okay, so I'm gonna set this guy on here. I love repetition in my projects, and so this is a good way to create that and also be really playful with your titles too, right? Okay, so we got that guy on there, and then I was cutting out, where's my love these dads? Love these dads. Now again, this idea too could be used on a card, right? You could do this, something like this, that literally like this could be the inside of the card or the outside of the card, or this could be the outside of the card. Yeah, I think that'll work, or even on top. Probably down below. Okay, well, I'll finish putting that together in a minute. I also want to do something with this one. I can start moving things around based on color. No, that one's probably still okay. All right, so this is the one that I'm going to either write something specifically on it. I wanted to have one that was just like, dads are meaningful because... I think I'm going to do something like this that says, why this story, or why, something like that, like some other little opportunity for, and I'm still going to add words on all of these as well, but maybe why. All right, so I went ahead and printed out another little block title there, and this one just says Celebrate Dads. I felt like that was a good jumping off point just for me to say something you know, simple and to the point there, related to what this project, or, you know, what this project is about, or what I am trying to say. And I'm going to follow the same formula that I've been doing on the other hearts. There you can see I'm using rolling adhesive from Scrapbook.com. I love that rolling adhesive. It's been working really well. I will end up pulling that Love You Dads up off the back and then using foam adhesive. That'll happen a little bit later in the process. And then I'm just adding adhesive behind the heart to stick the whole thing down. All right, then the next step in the process here is simply constructing and bringing all of the different pieces together. So I'm going ahead, I'm adhering the name title on top of the heart, and then I'm adhering the heart with that title onto the transparency, and then I am going ahead and adding journaling on the pops of color portion of the circle. You can see there where I'm adding foam adhesive to the outside of my little title blocks. That's because I wanted to make sure that those could stand up on their own too, and didn't end up, sometimes when you don't put something like that on the outside, they end up kind of like falling over, or they bend weird, and I didn't want that. With my handwritten journaling there, I'm basically eyeballing where the point of the heart, and then starting to add my journaling underneath there. I'm using a Slick Writer pen. We have those available in my shop, and just going ahead and underlining. Very simple journaling, but also really fun. Adding a little bit of adhesive right on the back, and then adhering that down to the circle. All right, once I got all of those set, everything, you know, all my journaling down, all of the hearts with the little titles on top, then I started this process of adhering those circles down to my background pattern paper. I had a lot of fun layering them on there, being able to pull up the transparency and kind of play around with where they are located. I also knew from the beginning, at least from the part where I knew I was going to do this on 2 6x8 pages, that I was going to cut them off the edges there. So I intentionally pushed them off the edge so that then they are contained within that page. And then I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers hole punch to re-punch the holes in there. Some of them have a combination of plastic as well as the papers. All right, just a quick review here. One of the things I just did that I had the camera off for is I did a date stamp underneath. I can still pull up part of that. I really love how this turned out. I think it's really fun. So remember, I started with the pops of color. That's the reason why I dove into this project in the first place, was participating in the Parade of Pops with Scrapbook.com. So I used those to create the backgrounds. Then I printed circles on transparency, which you can download from my blog. I added hearts from Vicky Booten. I added puffy letter stickers there, alpha stickers. On top, I did custom little titles for each one of the hearts, including one that just says Celebrate Dads. And then I've got 2 for Aaron, 2 for Chris, and 2 for my dad. Love how this turned out. Really, really fun. Background pattern paper is from Heidi Swap. Hope to see you guys back here again soon. If this is your first time visiting my channel here on YouTube, please check out lots and lots of posts from the past, lots of projects, and hope to see you guys back here again soon.